this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel, and we're here for our first one of our Friday Tidy workshops that we're going to be running. So I'm just going to kind of really randomly make a start, and although it does seem random, actually there is a method behind my madness, because I want to just empty out a couple of containers so that I can then rearrange my stamp. Now my stamps are going to be a mammoth task, so I suspect they may go over 2 or possibly even 3 weeks. What I'm wanting to do is clear out some space to be able to move like my favourite stamps, to have them beside me on my cart. Now my husband has very kindly hung my shelf unit up on the wall, so that kitchen is now beneath that. So that's hung up there, and then I just purchased this just literally couple of days ago. I don't know whether this is going to work out well. The drawers are very tiny, they may be just too small to be useful, but I'm going to try it out. If it obviously doesn't really pan out, then I will just take it back to the store, and you know, it's no biggie, it's just you know, trial and error. But I just thought I'd quickly show you. I know that I talked about hanging my snippet strips. So these are my snippet strips that, you know, we've done. I think I've done most of them on video, probably maybe 1 or 2 in quiet time. And I have just literally put them on a massive bulldog clip and just hung them over just to screw in the wall there. So that's where they're all hung. They're really a good way to store them, because I mean, obviously you don't really want to roll your snippet strips. I have seen people roll them. Personally, I just haven't ever tried that. You know, I quite like them flat, so hanging them like that I think is, you know, a really handy way to store them. So I'm going to take this over to my desk, and I'm going to start sorting some stuff, and then we'll see how we get on. Okay, so I've just taken the cellophane off to open those drawers, so we'll kind of see how they go. I'm not going to bin this, because obviously if these drawers don't pan out, I will be sealing it back up and sending it back to the store. So basically what I've got here are 5 little tiny drawers, and I just thought these were quite good. Oops, I've now got it upside down. Sorry, let's start again. I just got this from HomeSense, which is part of like TK Maxx, you know, group of stores. And I mean, obviously traditionally it's, I guess, meant for jewellery and cosmetics and things. But it's got these 5 little drawers, and I just thought actually they're really handy, hopefully, for craft things, because you know, they're quite small, so all those little bits and bobs that we all kind of lose and what have you, and they are see-through drawers, so I'm going to be able to see at a glance, you know, what's in them, because of course I'm not going to just remember. They've got a little black velvet, you know, base to the drawers, so you know, I mean, I just thought they're going to be really useful. I will probably regret it, because they're going to be obviously very, very dusty within, like, you know, 5 minutes of being here, but we'll see how they get on. So what I thought that I would do is, I've got my little pot, or you know, container full of bows here. Now I pull these bows in, you know, really quite regularly, so obviously I want these very handy to, you know, reach in and be able to grab. So I'm thinking, rather than have them stored in this, which I mean you can probably see is kind of the worse for wear anyway, if I put these into this top drawer, you know, I don't know whether they will all fit in here. Obviously this is, you know, my first time of actually trying this out. I may find that actually it's not really going to pan out. Maybe they're not going to fit, but hopefully hopefully they mostly will. Obviously I might just put a couple into my little storage container on my desk, any that don't quite fit in here, because then I'm going to, you know, be able to free up some storage. So there we go, they're just about fitting in, just have to squash them in a little bit like that to be able to shut the drawer. Oh, and how pretty does that make that container look? If you can see that, how gorgeous does that look? So yeah, I love that. Now obviously this is broken, it's, you know, seen better days, but I'm still going to hang on to it, just to the side of me, just while I do absolutely decide whether or not this is going to suit, you know, my purposes, really, because of course there's no point keeping things that are just going to be, you know, not useful at all. So obviously I've got 4 more storage drawers, and it's a case of now what other things are going to be really handy to keep in these types of drawers. So I'm now wondering what else I want to kind of replace in terms of storage, you know, what's turned out to not be the best storage really for, you know, what I've been using things. So I'm thinking I've got quite a lot of flowers and things that I could maybe pop into another drawer. Now my flowers are kind of scattered around all over the place. I've got these lovely ones from Laura, so I could pop those straight in there. Again, I'm not going to bin this because that may come in handy for something else. And then what other flowers have I got? So I've got this one. This is just like from a what do you call it? A bridesmaid's, you know, headdress. Got that. Now I've got here behind me, I've got this little jar here of these paper flowers. So again, I could take all of those out and just have all of those in the drawer. These have got those little stamen things as well, which I obviously didn't even realise that. Oh look, that's one that I've obviously glued together at some other point and obviously forgotten all about. So they might be quite good in there. So again, I'm not going to bin this, of course. Right, what else am I going to keep in here? Well, I've also got this that I use for my eyelets. I mean, it's even covered in glue because my hot glue gun is constantly kind of, you know, knocking into it. So what I might do is put eyelets and things in here. So let me just check that that's all I've got in here, because of course my stuff gets pretty, you know, cluttered and mixed in. I don't know what that is. That's like a little sparkly centre. I'm just going to be rigid and throw that away. So I've got lots of eyelets there. I'm going to pop them, whoops, pop them in. I mean, that seems a little bit extravagant of space, doesn't it? Because they're not really taking up that much room. Oh look, I've even got flat back pearls mixed in with the eyelets. Let's just take those out. Oops. I mean, does everyone else's craft supplies resemble this? Where when you turn out one pot, it's actually got other things all mixed in that shouldn't really be there. Yep. Okay, so that's my eyelets in there. Now this jar, I am going to bin this because it's really pretty wrecked, and inside I've actually had some glue like actually inside there. So yeah, it's definitely seen better days, that one. And that then is actually something off of my desk. Now the only thing is I haven't quite sort of decided where I'm actually going to store this, you know, container itself. So that's going to be another task altogether. But you know, hopefully kind of we'll fathom something else out. So the next thing I've got, now again, I'm just pulling in stuff that's kind of laying about on my desk because of course, you know, clearing my desk would be kind of handy. So I've got a little flower here, a paper flower. So that can go obviously in the little flower drawer. And then here I've got, again, just another jar that's kind of seen better days. And if I just tip everything out. So again, I might bin this one because again, it's just very horrible and covered in glue and, you know, other things. That's another flat back pearl, so I'll just put those there. So I've got some more of the flowers. Oops. You know, look, I mean, that's kind of wound up with thread from fabric and all sorts. So just, ooh, yuck. And look at that flower. I mean, it's practically not even a flower anymore. So I could definitely do with storing these in a better way. So there those, and again, I'm just going to put that in there. I've just spotted another one that's obviously on my desk, so that can go in. I mean, it's really nice to be able to get a few things off of the desk, isn't it? I've got another just little mulberry flower there. Got this one, obviously, pop that in there. Oops, that paper clip again, it's got kind of fabric wound around it. That's another paper clips there, just straight into my little organiser on the desk, which I've got sort of a section for paper clips. Then that in there. Got some die cut flowers, or you know, my fussy cut flowers. I'm going to put those in my organiser. And then here I've got a stamped image. I'm going to put that in my organiser. I've got a big flat back pearl. This is a chipboard piece, which actually that's kind of quite nice, isn't it? Now things like this I really struggle with, you know, where do I put these? So I'm going to just put this in that big container which I did before I started running these workshops on the Friday. This would just go into that box. So that's on my little trolley beside me. And if I just pull that in, so this was the box that I started sorting. Let me just move this along. The box that I started sorting, I wonder if I can move my camera up a bit. Hold on so I get more in. So this was the box that I started sorting when lots of ladies said that they would be keen to do, you know, Tidy Fridays or something like that. So I'm just going to put this in here because that would just be quite handy maybe another time. Again, I've got some leaves, they'll go in there. I've got a Martha Stewart butterfly. So I'm just putting that back, sorry, on the trolley. So that's what that banging around is. Now the Martha Stewart butterfly, I am pretty organised with my Martha Stewart butterflies, would you believe? And I do keep those in a little pot, you know, always kind of try and put them back in their place. Got a little fabric flower trim. Again, I mean, I could put that in there. Now, I do love these chipboard tiles and I have made lots of these over the time. So again, I've got them stored actually all over the place in little jars, and they all seem to be in various states of, what do you call it? You know, whether they're finished off, i.e. glossy accented and, you know, distress inked and things like that. So I think what I might do is if I take, these ones are obviously needing distressing. So I'm going to just put them away. But I'll pull in my other jar. I think these are my completed ones. So what I might do is, again, empty the jar out. Of course, I'm not going to bin the jar. I will hang on to that for something else. But I might put all of my chipboard pieces in another drawer. And of course, you know, this is just my first stab at this. So, you know, I may find that this really doesn't pan out very well and, you know, change things around. But I'm just thinking, you know, that jar could maybe be better used for some other things. You know, first go really at sorting things, and, you know, we'll just see how this works for a few weeks, or, you know, who knows, maybe even after a few days I'll think, oh, that's, you know, that's a nightmare, I don't like that. But you've got to start somewhere, haven't you? So it's all good, you know, experimentation, I guess, to try and find what works really. I've also found another couple of flowers just again laying around on the desk, so again they can go in there. Now I'm wondering what else to put in this container in the final drawer. I'm not quite, oops, the liner's kind of got screwed up there, so let's just put the liner in. There we go. I'm not quite sure really what the bottom one should contain. I'm just having a look around my desk, seeing, you know, what are some things that I really love to pull in, you know, that I can never find. I mean, obviously there's a ton of stuff that I can never find, so that's just a bit of a silly statement really, but I'm not sure. So I might leave that drawer empty for the time being and, you know, just kind of work with as it is at the moment. So, I mean, that's not a bad start, because we've now got, you know, 4 drawers kind of full and counting. So, you know, that's pretty good. Now I'm going to pull in another organiser that I actually keep in my cupboard, never ever even use, because, you know, I can't even get to it. But that has some other things like eyelets and things, so we can take some of those and put them in here so they're all in one place. Okay, so I have pulled it in and I'm just going to move this to one side so I can show you. Basically, this was one that my dad gave me, like, I mean, probably like 15 years ago or something. I think he said it was like a fishing, something to do with fishing, like an organiser for your fishing supplies. And I mean, it is actually pretty handy because it's got loads of these little sections, you know, which is actually pretty good, isn't it? But of course it's buried away in my cupboard, and of course I never then use it. So, and to be honest, it actually still contains a lot of my old scrapbooking and card making things. Stuff that, you know, I don't necessarily think I'm really going to be using anyway. So let me just move my things about a little bit. So for instance here, I've got these heart-shaped brads, which, sorry, they're not brads. Yes, they are brads, sorry. I was just having a total mental block there. Now, I don't really know whether I'm going to use them, to be honest. To me, they don't feel like they're very vintage. Yeah, I don't know whether I would really use them. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hunt through this because I know that I've got some eyelets in here. So I'm going to ignore all of these other pieces that aren't eyelets, if that makes sense. And I'm only focusing on finding all of my eyelets. So, I mean, as you can see, I've got tons of different brads in here. So, I'm wondering now whether I've imagined it or whether I do have any actually eyelets in here at all. So, let's have a look. I felt like I did have, but now it's now looking like I haven't. Hold on. No, they're brads. Perhaps I imagined it. Perhaps I haven't got any eyelets. What are these? They're brads. Those are brads. Wow, would you believe it? I don't appear to have any eyelets in here. They're all brads. Which, that's just the most bizarre thing, to be honest. Oops. Let's just put this down. What's this one? No, more brads. I don't believe this. I thought, right, I'm going to bring this in because it's got, you know, all different eyelets in here. And now, would you believe, it's all just brads. Oh, I must have cleared out the eyelets at another point. I'm trying to think when I must have done that. Oh, who knows. Right, plan B. So plan B, I've got another storage jar on the desk. It's looking quite dusty. So I'm going to move this out the way. And just put this on the floor behind me. Because I haven't decided where I'm going to have those clear drawers. As I say, you know, that's going to be the next kind of task, is working out where to have all these things. So I'm just going to take this little jar. Now this is filled with all these sequins and things. I have to be honest, I'm probably not going to use these. Yeah, I can't picture that I'm going to use those. And the same with these. So I'm going to put them all into this little packet. Oops. Like that. And I'm going to make a little pile that I'm going to take to the school. So when it reopens, because I'm filming this ahead, it may be open or it, you know, may still be the summer. I'm not sure when this will be going on. So I'm going to wipe this jar out because it's pretty dusty. In fact, let me just get a wipe. Again, you can see I have not really planned this. This was obviously my plan B, as I just struggled to find any eyelets. So I'm just going to give this a wipe with a wipe, so hopefully it looks a little bit more pleasant. Okay. So this is obviously how those drawers are going to look in a few weeks. So yeah, I'll be wishing I hadn't bought those, but I just thought they were a good size. And I liked the fact that they were see-through so that I could see at a glance what was in them. But we'll see. I may kind of decide actually that's not quite so good. Right. Okie dokie. So there's that jar. Now, do I need to give that a wipe inside now to dry it? Do I have a dry wipe? Okay. So just give that a little bit of a wipe there to dry it up. I mean, as I say, I don't know how these videos are going to go down. I don't know whether they're going to be of any interest whatsoever. You know, I was surprised when lots of people said that they would like to see organising videos. You know, that came as a bit of a shock to me. So I don't know whether people are going to enjoy these or not. But, you know, you can only try. I mean, I know that the mass making videos, I seriously didn't think that people would watch those either. And actually they've turned out to be my favourite videos to both film and, you know, touch wood. People seem to quite like them. So we'll see. If this doesn't pan out, I won't obviously do them. But I'm just going to do them for a few weeks and we'll just see how they go. So I'm just going through the box now to see what else I might have. I've got a squashed up brad there. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'll just put that in the pile there to take to the school. I've got some sort of other weird things. Can't even tell you what these are from. I don't know. I feel like they could be from a child's rucksack, but I'm not quite sure. I've got this gorgeous big brad. I've got a bent over brad there, so I'm putting that in the pile for the school. So this one I think is gorgeous, so I'm going to put that in there. I've got, again, these, what do you call this? Mother of pearl kind of charms there. So I haven't used these. I obviously bought these a long time ago thinking I was going to use them. I haven't. But I can picture them maybe with like stamped images and things. So I'm going to hang on to them. I'm going to put them up on my top shelf so they're sort of in my eye line and I don't forget them. And who knows, maybe we will come up with some things to do for that. I've got these brads here. So I'm just going to put those in the jar. So any brads that I think are still really nice, you know, that I really like them, I'm just keeping. Now these little containers here, these are plastic ones with the kind of flippy lid. Again, you know, I don't know really whether they are very useful, but I feel like they may be useful. So I'm putting them, you know, down on the floor, kind of behind my desk to hoard them now. So I'm going to have a whole bunch of empty containers and, you know, not know what to do with them next. Right, so here I've got a whole bunch of little punched out tags, tiny tags. So I'm going to, again, just, you know, donate them to the school because they're not really colours that I necessarily, you know, think I'm going to use. So these brads here, I mean, they're pretty, you know, they're really nice colours. So again, I'm going to keep those, I think. Now I'm wondering whether I should do a second jar because I've actually got a lot of brads in this container. So I have one with like dark colours and one with sort of, you know, more pale pastel colours, although I may find that actually it's not very easy to decide on the colours. Let me just put these down here and see whether I've got another jar, you know, literally kind of, you know, right here in front of me. Let's have a look. What jars have I got? I mean, obviously I have got jars all over the place, but actually, I mean, I've very foolishly used them for various things. I have this one, which this is full of a whole bunch of various, you know, varying different things that I've obviously just chucked in there at some point. So again, let's empty this out. Oops. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's literally, it's got all sorts of rubbish in there. So I've just emptied that out. Again, I could probably do with wiping it because it's a bit covered in glue, but thankfully this one's only sort of covered in glue on the outside. So again, we just wipe this, clean this up a little bit. Yeah, I only binned that other one because it actually had glue all in the inside as well. So it would be pretty hard to get out, although I could probably soak it in some hot water and it maybe would come out then, I'm not sure. So maybe I'll retrieve it from the bin in a minute. Honestly, I thought this was about decluttering, not just keeping stuff. Now, again, I've obviously got lids for these jars. They're probably, again, just buried somewhere on my desk. Yeah. Oh, no, that's obviously way too big. Yeah, I will have to dig around for the lids afterwards. They clearly are here somewhere. Here we go. Does that fit? Yay! Actually got a lid that fits, so that's pretty good. So let me just give that a bit of a wipe. I mean, it's a bit dented, but again, it's fine. So I'm going to put sort of pastel colour brads, I think, in this one. Like that. Because I think really, maybe the best thing is to have your things all really visible so that you can just easily pull them out. Now, to me, these feel like they should go in this one because, again, they're sort of darker colours, do we think? Or do you think this should be more like what we call earthy, sort of earthier tones? I've dropped a yellow one in there, but never mind. And this should just be brights. Yeah, maybe brights and more, what I think could be got away with using in vintage things. So maybe we'll do that. Right, let's go around to the next section in the container. Again, just some sort of tag. So I'm going to put that there to give to the school. Oh, look, some foam dots. Didn't know I had those. Yeah, little tag there. Oops, just a label from some packaging. Okay, I've got a really tiny bit of ribbon. Again, could keep that for, putting on a tag, but I'm going to be really rigid. I'm just going to put that with that. I know it looks like utter rubbish that I'm putting in my pile for the school, but I mean, honestly, they're crafting all the time in the school in kind of the lower years. And so,
you know, they must go through such a large amount of stuff that I know that, you know, they're always grateful for anything they can get. So, you know, because kids, I mean, they just go through things in 5 seconds flat. Now, these brads here, these are really cute because they've actually got letters on. So let me just pull one in and show you. So that's the letter Y. Don't know whether you can even see that, but, you know, they're really cute. I have to be honest and say, you know, I don't know whether I'm ever going to use those, to be honest. But, you know, never say never. Maybe I will one day. So I'll put them in there. And I think this is another pack of the same, but in pastel colours. Because I actually really loved these, you know, when I was doing the scrapbooking. I thought these were fantastic. So, you know, to be able to use the brads to spell out, you know, someone's name and things like that. So, yeah, these are like pastel colours of the same thing. So, again, just pop them into that bright one. Oh, all sorts of treasures and treats in here. So I've got, what have I got? Oh my gosh. Right, let's just get it all out. Oh, I've got a little flower there that I've obviously kind of stuck a sequin on. So I'm just going to put that in with the stuff for the school. And that. I've got some of those, you know, the brooch backs. Now, again, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with these on my tidy up. So what shall I do with them now? I'm going to put them, I've got a cake stand to the side. I'm just going to put them over there for the minute and I'll deal with them later. I've got a black paper clip. I'm going to put that in with my clips. That nice brad, that can go in with those, and the heart one in that one. Again, I've got these gorgeous flower brads. Aren't they lovely? Now, I think these could be vintaged up quite easily. So I'm going to put them like half and half, I think. So, you know, I've got some in the vintage pot and some in the bright, like that. And the reason I'm separating these out really into the bright and the vintage is because I think if I do sort of a kids journal, you know, not a kids one, but using kids, you know, children's book images, these would be really great for that. These I will keep for, you know, pure sort of vintage type pieces. Right, I've got this charm, which is a leaf. Again, I'm kind of thinking that this could be maybe distress inked or rusted or something like that. So again, I'm just going to put that in the cake stand because I'm not quite sure where to put it at the moment. So I'm hoping we're going to work our way through everything and we're going to have this amazing craft area. Honestly, what's the likelihood? Right, these here are what? These are little charms saying thank you. Again, I like to think that I would be able to use these, you know, when I send out my journals and things like that. I've got to be truthful and just say I probably wouldn't, to be honest. I mean, I think they're sweet, but I just wouldn't probably remember to use them. So I do like them. I'm not sure I want to get rid of them, but I don't want to obviously put them in here. So again, I'm going to just put them to the side. Again, when I come to do that cake stand eventually, you know, probably most of this stuff will at that point be binned, but at least I don't have to think about it today. And once I've kind of got a bit more sorted, I might have a bit more of an idea of what I want to hang on to and what I don't. So here I've got loads of those little sequin pieces. Again, I mean, kids are going to love playing with those. And I've actually got a whole box, so I just put those there because I won't be using those. I've got some more brads. Again, to me, these feel quite vintage. They're, you know, pale duck egg blue, so I think they'll go in the vintage colours. Again, I'm just going to keep this little container. So that's chucked in the pile behind me. Again, just got some more bright flower brads. Gosh, I loved these flowers, didn't I? Because this is my third pack of very similar ones. So let's just tip all of those out. I mean, actually, although these are bright, they are actually more vintage looking, to be fair. So I'm going to do the same again, where I put sort of half, you know, half and half, I think. So half in the bright and half in the vintagey container. Right, these are magnetic puzzle piece things. They were from a puzzle book that I think my son had when he was like a baby. So these are like years and years old. I've got to be honest, I'm not really going to use them. Oops, I've got a paper clip stuck onto the magnet. I'm not going to use them. So I'm going to just put them to go to the school. Right, I've got another one of those hearts. I'm just going to put that in there. Oops, I've got the letter U. I'm just going to bin that. And then I've got these gorgeous pink ones here. Again, I'm going to hang on to these because, to be honest, especially my daughter will like these. Because that's another thing, is obviously as she gets a bit bigger and, you know, does more crafting, she will like this jar, you know, of the bright ones especially. I've got here, oh, so I've got some punched puzzle pieces. I have this puzzle punch, probably still got it, who knows where. I've got a book ring in this gorgeous blue colour. Again, I'm thinking my daughter would probably quite like that, so I'm just going to put that on my cake stand. And then I've got these. I don't even know what these are. I have no idea what these are. I mean, they're probably something very useful. Oh, I don't know what they are. What are they? It's got a spring. If you know what they are, let me know below. I'm going to put them in the cake stand. I mean, clearly, I was going to say they're obviously something important and I shouldn't bin them, but I mean, actually, they've been in here for all these years. I clearly don't need them. Look how yellow that packaging even is. It's so old. Again, these brads, aren't they gorgeous? Because I don't know whether you can see, but they're just little polka dot ones. They're really pretty, aren't they? So I'm going to, again, just put those in there. You know, I forgot that I even had all this stuff, honestly. Oh, I've got another lovely book ring in a really nice colour. And I've got some more of those brads. And this time in these deeper colours, but still polka dot. Oops. I mean, I love that colour green. And I spotted a red one. I mean, that's just like a toadstool. It's not like a toadstool, obviously, but you know what I mean. Those red toadstools, it's a bit like that. So again, I'm going to put those in the bright ones. Right, so we're on the top layer of the container now. So I'm going to get a bit of a move on because I'm sure you're all bored now. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I don't know whether this is going to be of interest to anybody. You may all find this so boring and, you know, not want to watch any of this waffling rubbish at all. But, you know, obviously I had lots of people saying, oh, I'd love this as a regular feature. So I'm just giving it a try. But yeah, I'm going to obviously film a few ahead and we'll see how they go. If people don't like them, of course, I won't continue with them. They're quite vintage looking. So again, I'm going to put that in the vintage one. And actually, they're very fall looking, aren't they? These purple ones, I mean, to me, they don't look vintage at all. So they're going to go in the bright. Okay, I've just chucked those containers down again to the side of me. A couple more tags. I mean, these are all just punch tags, but I mean, you know, I don't really need them, to be honest. So I'm going to, again, just get rid of all of those. I mean, I'm best off probably not even looking through any of this stuff because, of course, once I look, I'm going to want to keep. So just going to, yeah, be really rigid and get rid of that. But I also have this little charm here that just was floating in amongst that stuff. So again, I'm going to just hang on to that because that might be quite nice for a journal. I put that in the cake stand, so we'll come across that again on something else. These, again, I'm thinking my daughter would one day like these, so I'm going to hang on to them again in the cake stand. My gosh, that cake stand's going to need a lot of clearing when we come to that, isn't it? Now, then I've got these green leaves, and they were in a bigger container, but, I mean, you can probably see, I really love these. I'm not sure whether I would necessarily use these, to be fair, but I can't bring myself to bin them, so, or not bin them, sorry, just, you know, give them to the school. So I'm going to keep those. And then here, got a bunch more just cut out, you know, shapes and what have you. So they can, again, go for the pile for the school. And then more bits here, more bits here. I mean, honestly, these bits have been, like, punched out, I mean, for a seriously long time, you know, like, we're talking years. Oops, that's a little star, but it's all obviously snapped off. I'm just going to be rigid and bin that. A little bow, again, is, you know, seen better days, I'm going to bin that. And here we've got, again, more punched shapes and what have you. Oops, some sort of hat there going on with some peel-offs. I'm going to put all of that there. And more punched bits and bobs. And then here, oops, more bits, more bits. A little paper clip there and there. Now I have got a little container of my sort of brightly coloured paper clips, which, oops, hold on, just trying to get that last flower. Put that there to give to the school as well. So these are on my little shelf above my desk. I'm just going to pop those in there. And again, these are sort of more colourful paper clips. And actually there's some brads mixed in here as well. But I like to keep those for, again, doing the kids' book journals because they're nice and bright and colourful. I've got some ribbon and another bit there. I'm just going to put all of that there. And that's those hearts, which again, they'll just go in there. Get rid of that. And then, oh gosh, more stuff here. Just, you know, these are just bits and pieces that, you know, to be honest, I'm not sure who would be using them. Little tiny brad, that will go in there. And another one of those letter brads. And then I have no idea what any of this stuff is. Oh my gosh, look. That's one of those huge eyelets. Now, I've been actually wanting to buy some of these. I don't know whether it is one actually or not. I'm not sure. I'm going to put that in the cake stand. We'll come across that again another day. So I'm going to just take all of these out. And then we're just going to clear those like that. And I'm just going to bin all of these because, to be honest, even the school's not really going to want that stuff. Okay, so I have another empty container, which I'm not saying that that container wasn't handy, and I'm certainly not going to bin it. But to be honest, for how I'm crafting at the moment, you know, with the vintagey journals and things like that, it just, you know, that was in my cupboard, never to be seen. So for me, I've pulled out the things that are going to be useful and they're now separated out into, you know, jars that I can just straight away see and just pull in and use, you know, straight away. So hopefully that's going to be good. And these are going to go up on my top shelf. So let me take the camera down. It's up above my desk, and this is where that big jar with all the chipboard tiles came from, over on this corner. So now I can just stand my two smaller jars, obviously, of all my brads sorted up there. Obviously, you can see there's a whole load more work to go up there. But, you know, we're just making a little bit of headway, you know, just making a start. So yeah, I feel quite good about that. Now my little pile that I've got down here, obviously I'm just going to put this into like an envelope or, you know, cellophane bag or something, and I will just gradually make, you know, some big piles of things to donate to the school. To the side I've got these here, which are those flowers. So actually let me put the camera back. I've pulled in my drawers again, and remember in the second one down we were just having all of our little flowers. So I'm just going to pop all of the flowers that I took out of that jar and put them all into here. Believe me, honestly, these are not obviously the extent of my flowers. These are the flowers that mainly actually I've dyed and, you know, distressed and, you know, recoloured. Not my Hawaiian flowers, these are paper ones. But yeah, that's what were kind of in that jar. So I'm just putting all of those in here. Have I got them all? Yes, I've got them all. So they're all now together, and again I can just open that drawer and rummage around a little bit better than I could when they were in the jar. So I'll just put that to one side, and then here just got a couple of buttons that also were in that jar, so I'm just going to put those in my button section of my organiser. So I don't think we've done too badly today. I think we've made a little bit of progress. As I say, I have got to decide, you know, where I actually am going to store this little set of chest of drawers. But I will be back with more Tidy Friday workshops. And yeah, I really hope that you'll all join me for a bit of a tidy up. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a great day. See you guys soon. Thanks, Hen. Bye.